self-acceptance. What is self-acceptance? It's that feeling of, I belong, I'm lovable just as I am, I'm accepted just as I am. What are some esteem builders here? When you communicate acceptance of my imperfect past, that's important, isn't it? We've all got some kind of past. We've all got something that we're not happy about in our past. It could be things we did or things that were done to us. But when your spouse communicates that they accept your imperfect past, that's a very powerful way of reinforcing self-acceptance. When you accept my family, I don't know if you sometimes struggle if you feel like my wife or my husband love me a lot, but they don't love my family. Okay, I've noticed that's a common thing, isn't it? Okay, I know of a particular couple who struggled in their marriage, and the guy was like, and I think they've now split up and so on. And one of the big reasons was he felt she didn't accept his family.
Sure.
Okay? When you laugh at my jokes, when you crack a joke, you're making yourself vulnerable, aren't you? One of the most beautiful things is when you see your spouse packing out laughing at your jokes. One of the worst things is when everyone else is laughing, but your spouse has just got this serious look on their face. I know with me, sometimes my wife will be laughing at something else. I'll crack a joke and she's looking to see, do people catch Paul's joke? Do they catch her? And then she'll be laughing because she can see that people aren't really catching her. And she'll tell me afterwards, I was laughing because I could see it went over their heads. When you come shopping with me, John, when you come shopping with me, I know some guys struggle with that. Some guys say, you go to the mall, you do the shopping, I'll be at Nemo's reading a newspaper. Okay? When you play my favorite songs, can you see this is celebrating the uniqueness of your spouse? What songs does she like, guys? One of the games we enjoy playing at home, or my wife really likes it, is where I play a song, like, you know, those golden oldies, and she has to guess who's singing it. Because her ear is so good, I'm sometimes shocked. I'm like, how did you know that? It's like, I'll play. Luther Vandross. Yeah, she knows. Trey Lorenz. CC Winans. Mentioning the Christian ones in case you think we're just on the other side. Jonathan Butler. Like, how do you remember? It's like, if I've heard the voice, I'll know. Okay? And it's one of the games we play, right? When you play my favorite songs, when you take into consideration my recreational preference.
Don't go to two-star. Don't go to two-star.
Yes, don't go to a 2-star. I know one guy, I know one lady, and she's into travel and things like that. And the husband, the boys organized some event, right? And she pitched up and she was like, it was at these lodges. Then the guy said, no, we want to give the kids a rural experience, you know, want to give them rural. But the guy learned his lesson. So now, whenever he books for his wife, various places, he said, don't worry, this is a white linen facility. It's a white linen facility. How many of you are into camping? How many of you are into camping? Okay. If ever I camp, I mean, we into glamping.
Yes.
Yes, please. Okay. So when you allow me to be myself, this is very important, eh? Allow your spouse to be herself. Okay? When you value me as a powerful human being with my own unique taste in clothes, hairstyles, sport, food, movies, humor. Some spouses don't have boundaries. So it's like your wife has to like the same kind of things you like. And then there are these deep fights people have, like, no, this movie is better than this one. No, that one is just a... No. It's like, you're different human beings. Why are you arguing about that? It's okay. It's okay if your husband loves the action stuff. And it's okay if your wife likes romantic comedies. When you respect my boundaries. Finally, the self-acceptance project. List any differences between you and your spouse that continually bother you. Any differences that bother you. How are these actually strengths that are sometimes being overused and overextended? Can you see it's very subtle? If you want to know what your weaknesses are, look at your strengths being overused, right? So if you say, how many of you are goal-orientated people in this room, right? As someone said to you recently, sometimes you can be obsessed with some things. Or sometimes you get fixated with certain things. Well, my projects are also as important as yours. Can you see what's happening? The strength is you're goal-orientated. It becomes a weakness when? When it's overused, right? How many of you are passionate about making money? You want to become very wealthy and you're very entrepreneurial? Yes, Langston, I can see your hand. Lena, I see your hand, and it's higher than Tumiso's. Okay. That will be an interesting conversation right there. All right? But here's the thing. It's a strength, right? But when it's overused, what does it look like? There's someone I was coaching recently, and what I was explaining to them is the very thing that attracts you to certain guys, ladies, that sense of like, wow, he's an achiever, it can end up being the very thing that takes him away from home. And this lady said to me, that's so true. It's something we're working through right now before we get married. We need to work through, because this guy has just got this next project and this one and this one, and I'm feeling like I'm hardly spending time with him. We have to spend time with each other if we're going to get married. And that's the tough thing a lot of women are facing today. They were drawn to this guy because he's achievement orientation, because of his achievement orientation. But that's now the very cause of fights in the marriage. So balance is important. Okay? How do you reinforce self-acceptance? Pray for your spouse that the strengths of these traits would manifest more. In other words, the strengths, not the overuse. Is something in you causing your buttons to be pushed with regards to this behavior? Last breakfast, we looked at the button pushers. So sometimes you might see your spouse doing something, but it's actually something in you that's pushing buttons in her or him. Begin to thank God for the strengths associated with the overuse. So instead of just saying, I don't like the way my husband is so obsessed and fixated with all these goals, focus on the strength. What's the strength? Lord, I thank you that you've given me a husband who's goal-orientated, who wants to accomplish something great in his life. Thank you for that. And your focus is on the strength, not the overextension. Make sense? Do you perhaps also have this trait or behavior? Are you trying to pluck out the speck in your brother or sister's eye while you've got a beam in your own eye? Do you need to repent of any judgments you made or inappropriate reactions you have had? Just think about that.